Hey everyone, welcome to Tenian's Corner. I am Jesse, and this is my review of Godzilla Minus One, which is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I'm a big Godzilla fan, as anyone will know who has seen my Godzilla 1985 retrospective, which you can go watch on my channel. And in that video, I talk about how, as a kid, when I watched that movie, I cried my eyes out whenever I watched the ending. And thankfully, I haven't cried at a Godzilla film since that movie until now. And yes, I will say that Godzilla Minus One, by the end of it, had me tearing up a bit. And I don't know whether that's just because Godzilla makes me emotional for some reason, but specifically with this movie, I was just emotionally swept up in the story. The story is engaging. It involves this former kamikaze pilot, Koichi, who pretended that his jet plane didn't work, so he didn't have to kill himself. And then he has to face the consequences of that, the dishonor, and then the survivor's guilt of surviving when all his comrades have died. And then Godzilla rears its head and starts wreaking havoc. I thought the director, Takashi Yamazaki, did a brilliant job recreating the post-war period Japan. Also, he handles the special effects, which for the most part I thought were pretty spectacular. I think it was just a smart choice to make this a period piece on several levels because, as has been said, it takes Godzilla back to its roots. First Godzilla film was in the 1950s, and again here, Godzilla very much reflects post-war anxieties about nuclear devastation and our own capacity for self-destruction. Making this a period piece works well because it immediately gives the story this historic depth and substance to it, and just gives a gravitas and weight to everything that unfolds. I think on the level of a visual spectacle, this film is breathtaking. All of the Godzilla scenes I thought are pretty awesome. The design of Godzilla, too, every little detail in this design is there to evoke a sense of horror and terror. Godzilla's face is one of the most unique features of this new design, particularly Godzilla's eyes, which for me are reminiscent of Shin Godzilla's eyes. But Shin Godzilla's eyes I found soulless and impersonal, whereas here, this Godzilla, I didn't find them soulless. There's emotion there, real emotion. It's not good emotion, it's like rage and anger. But you can tell there's an intelligence, a consciousness, a sentience there to this Godzilla. Another element of this design that I liked is Godzilla's death-like grin or rictus on its face with its bare teeth. And that further conveyed this like macabre element. And everything about Godzilla here in its look is harsh and ugly and threatening and intimidating. And also, most of the Godzilla scenes take place during the day, which I appreciated. I think a lot of big monster movies sometimes make the mistake of shooting a lot of scenes at night and trying to hide the creature, which I think becomes a missed opportunity because I know like concealing the creature can leave more to the imagination and create more horror that way. But I think it becomes a missed opportunity because I think it fails to leave your personal stamp on that creature by hiding it. I like to see the creature, and this movie really shows you Godzilla. It gives you time to bask in the glory and the majesty and the horror of Godzilla. Even though these scenes take place during the day, the scenes of destruction and catastrophe are still very grim and horrific to watch. And I think the director very smartly keeps and maintains that tone of horror and terror because he grounds everything from a human lens and perspective. You're always seeing Godzilla through a human perspective, and so there's always an emotional impact felt whenever Godzilla attacks, at least for me. It's just not a big monster crushing buildings and it's, oh, this is fun, this is a good time. in a video game style, everything has an emotional weight to it because you're experiencing it through the characters. Also, these characters are more fleshed out than you generally get in a big monster movie. They're flawed, vulnerable, internally conflicted, and I found myself caring about them and sympathizing with them. And there's so much like sadness and loss and trauma in this film on both a personal and a historical level, and it all combines to create a very like enthralling experience, and I was just hooked. For criticisms, I would say that sometimes the dialogue can come off a little cliche and corny. I found the world building very well done to the level of technology and the engines of warfare and the military vessels. They really make the ships and the planes like characters in the movie, and they give the technology and the military equipment and everything like this historical imprint. Everything has this texture and imprint of history to it. You get that a lot in anime too with technology, that technology is really treated in a way that's organic and that has an organic relation to the world in which it was made. There are also some little touches of humor in the movie that I didn't expect, and that maybe they might not work for everyone, but I didn't find them too tonally out of key with the rest of the movie, and I thought they were a nice little like balance to that pervasive sense of gloom and doom that is pretty much the tone of the movie. But there are little bits of ironic touches thrown in that just made me smirk. Some of my favorite scenes in the movie are set in the water and the ocean. There's some really good action set pieces with the Godzilla in the water. They're pretty striking and stunning. On the whole, I loved this movie. I would say that if you're a Godzilla fan, I would definitely recommend you watch it on the big screen. I think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to see a widely released Japanese Toho Godzilla film in the original language. Even for non fans, I think this might be a good crossover film in the franchise. I think there are enough elements there to engage audiences. Yeah, this is a damn good Godzilla film. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Godzilla Minus One, and let me know if you've seen the movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Share your comments below, and yeah, please continue to support the channel. Keep watching, like, subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.